Good afternoon, everyone. This is student meteorologist Dinella Streety back again with a 2 p.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Just came in a couple of minutes ago. It is now upgraded to a Category 3 storm with sustained winds of 120 miles an hour. Just 20 minutes ago, it was only at 110, so it is already ramping up, moving north-northeast at 16 miles per hour. Pressure has dropped to 959 millibars. Here is the recon mission from the hurricane hunters. Again, we're even seeing speeds all the way on the outside of the storm, sustained at 31 miles an hour. Again, that pressure dropping at 957 as it's creeping its way up the Gulf Coast of the Florida Peninsula. Right now, the cone, again, Cat 3, still expected to make landfall somewhere between coastal Franklin County, coastal Taylor County sometime this evening. If you are in the coastal areas right now of the Big Bend and you have not evacuated, this is your final chance to get out before conditions deteriorate within the next 45 minutes to an hour. The winds are going to start to pick up very soon, and it will only get worse from here on out. Again, here's another close-up of the cone. It is about a couple hundred miles due south of us currently. Just about due west of Naples. And it's going to continue to ramp up and maybe go slightly wobble west or east. But as we look into the graphics here, models are trending mostly towards hitting coastal Wakulla County to coastal Taylor County. And that has pretty much stayed consistent throughout today and has remained unchanged. But as we move to Peter, tell us more about the warnings so far.
Yeah, so we have hurricane warnings throughout most of the northern part of the state, especially in the Big Bend, and tropical storm warnings for the rest of the state. It is a very large hurricane right now. The tropical storm force winds extend very far from the center. Also, the hurricane force winds, much larger area than you would normally see with a hurricane. And so that is why we have this very large area that is in that hurricane warning going deep into Georgia as well. Because this is going to be a fast-moving storm, it is not going to have a chance to weaken very much very quickly before it gets into Georgia. So areas inland are still going to see those strong hurricane force winds. And it is a Category 3 hurricane right now. And it's going to keep intensifying. It's moving over the loop current in the Gulf of Mexico, very warm area of water. And so it has a lot of energy to draw on and continue to intensify as it moves north. So it's already at 120 miles an hour. 130 is the threshold for Category 4, and it still has time to strengthen before it makes landfall. We also have tornado watches throughout the state. As those outer bands move through, there is a chance for some more tornadoes to pop up. We've had a few up here in the Panhandle and Big Bend area. We had some in the peninsula yesterday, and that chance is going to continue, so be prepared to move to a safe space in your home if there is a tornado warning that is declared for your area. And the storm surge is really one of the biggest stories with this system. Up to 20 feet of storm surge in Cedar Key and Cross City, up to 15 feet up in Carabel and St. Marks. Tampa Bay will see up to 8 feet of storm surge. These are dangerous levels of storm surge, so if you're near the coast, you need to make sure that you head inland if you haven't already, because that storm surge is going to come in fast. So that is one of the bigger stories that we have right now, and with this big storm, it is only going to continue to get worse. We do have evacuation orders for the coastal counties up here in the Big Bend, mandatory evacuation orders, and then mandatory further inland for manufactured homes and mobile homes because of that wind threat, and also voluntary evacuation orders in other areas that are a little bit further on the outskirts of the hurricane force wind path. And here you can see everything in yellow is where there are tropical storm force winds right now. Pretty much the entire peninsula of Florida is currently experiencing tropical storm force winds, or at least has the potential to be experiencing them at the moment. That includes Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers, Miami, all the way up, close to Jacksonville at this point. And those tropical storm warnings actually do extend all the way into South Carolina and further north. So those areas as well will see these tropical storm force winds. Hurricane force winds are in orange right now, and that is going to continue to expand as this system gets stronger, and we're going to have a large area of Florida and moving into Georgia that is going to see these hurricane force winds. And now we're going to move it on to Matt, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the rain threat with this system.
Yeah, as we look at the precipitation here, first the max wind gusts, as you look at them, the gusts will get stronger and stronger as this storm passes through tonight and into early tomorrow morning, as you'll get into the upper 80s in some areas, and as it gets closer, you're going to see it's going to get a little more gusty as it goes by, and then it'll start calming down a little bit, but you'll still have some really high gusts in the upper 40s for tonight and into tomorrow, so be aware of those gusts as you go out your day tomorrow. And as we look at the precipitation amounts, very similar to what we've seen earlier, but remember, as this storm intensifies, it will get stronger storms, which can bring stronger rain to a lot of these areas. So even if you are in these eastern part like Jacksonville, be aware that you still can get some serious rain from these outer bands as the storm intensifies and moves across the state. So be aware of that when you're taking shelter, that just because you may be eastern in the eastern parts of Florida doesn't mean you're out of the woods, and you can still have some of those flooding effects because of the rainfall. And as we look at the future radars, it pushes through. It's going to push all the way through Georgia and Atlanta again, where it's going to dump some serious rain in the Georgia area. So if you're in Georgia, make sure you have preparations for tomorrow, as you will get some serious rain and the potential for a flash flood. And as it moves north, it'll move into Tennessee as well as in Missouri and Arkansas, and even touch maybe Illinois as that system moves through, and it'll continue north where it will drop some rain around Cincinnati and continue into western portions of Tennessee near Memphis. So be aware of that if you are making plans, that you will need to factor in some serious rainfall for those areas. It'll continue to move north where it will get weaker, but that Cincinnati area could see some serious rain this weekend, especially in downtown Cincinnati. There could be a lot of rain from this system as it moves through. And we look at our fun facts here. You're going to see our records. Sustained winds 58 miles per hour in 1962, and the gust was 83. There's a real chance that we surpass these records this year with Helene moving through. And the effects that we're going to be feeling from this storm are unprecedented. So be aware this storm will be strong and it will have devastating impacts. So make sure you have your plan. Make sure you are in place right now, as this storm is serious and you need to be taking it seriously. And we still have quite a bit of time before the end of hurricane season, so make sure you're watching that, as there still might be more activity as we go out through this year. And we look at Alligator Point right now. As we look at the temps, you're going to see 81 degrees. It might have warmed up just a tad, but that rain and wind is on its way. So make sure you are in place no matter what it looks like outside. The rain and wind is still coming, and it is going to be nasty, so make sure you are inside. Same thing with Shell Point. The rain and wind are going to start picking up as the day goes on. You're going to start experiencing those tropical winds coming soon, so make sure that you are taking shelter, that you are in place for moments like these, as things will start happening. And Ryan, why don't you tell us what's going on in St. George and in other areas?
Yeah, so 81 degrees right now in St. George. St. George is in the kind of path where, I mean, we're going to have to pay attention, because this lighthouse is kind of going to be right in the center path of where Helene is forecasted to go. Taking a look at our radar right now, I think the radar is kind of having a moment right now where it's kind of been going in and out. But I do want to take a look. We've got a couple tornado warnings up to our north in Georgia. You see this, these 4 boxes here. And just in the last few minutes, these got issued and just kind of lighting up the radar. So I'm going to force switch us to a different radar site. And then there's a look. 4 tornado warnings, just 1, 2, 3, 4, all with this line associated way out ahead of Hurricane Francine, now a Category 3 storm. So, you know, Fitzgerald, Jacksonville, just south of Denton, Douglas, definitely want to be taking your tornado precautions, because although we need to change our velocity a little bit, these storms are rotating just enough to where we can see some kinks in here near Broxton, another kink near Fitzgerald. So as these storms are forcing their way in, they are causing a good bit of tornado warnings. I want to show you some video out of Naples. We did have a couple tornado warnings earlier down in southwest Florida, but let's go ahead and take a look over in Naples and see. This is from one of our team leaders, Oceana Hayden, who's down in Naples right now, and she is video. There it is. Those are palm trees swaying around. So again, lots of gusty breezes. Here's another video she shot out of her front. That showed some gustiness, and then just those palm trees swaying in the wind. So lots of gusty winds way out ahead of Francine. As we can switch back to our normal radar and then just see how much Francine really has, going for it. I'm going to zoom the radar way out, and we're going to see just how big Francine's impacts are being felt. So again, here's Helene off the Tampa radar, right? There's the eye, now Category 3 hurricane. So, Oceana is just outside of Fort Myers, and you know, they kind of were feeling the effects earlier as Helene moved through. Now Miami, you know, up towards West Palm Beach is feeling it. But for now, most of Central Florida is quiet. It's just off the coast and then into southern Georgia that Helene is giving its impact. So I want to show you real quick some of the top wind speeds around our area. 18 miles per hour right in Lake City, 12 miles per hour on Bainbridge, 9 in Apalachicola. This is going to be something we want to pay attention to. Is Helene, again, Category 3 hurricane with a special 225 advisory. We'll have more with you when we come back in the next hour. But for now, stay safe and be prepared for Hurricane Helene.